Welcome to Friendly Math 101. Today's lesson will be over solving multi-step equations with variables on both sides of the equal sign. So in our first example, it's going to be a pretty simple one. When we're solving multi-step equations with variables on both sides, there's certain steps we want to follow. First is to distribute. Second is to combine like terms. Third is to get all the variables to one side, and then the fourth would be to solve for x. So in this case here, we want to look at either side individually. So the first side, 4x minus 7, there's no distribution, there's no combining like terms. So my other side, 18 plus 2x, no distribution, no combining like terms. So my third step is to get all the variables to one side. Now it doesn't matter what side you choose. I always try to make it easier on myself, so I always want a positive number of x's. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to move this 2x over to the other side. So to do that, since it's a plus 2x, I'm going to subtract 2x from both sides. Now notice how I'm subtracting 2x from the 4x. I don't want to put it over here by the 7 because those are not like terms and I cannot subtract 2x from 7. So then just subtract. We have 4x minus 2x is 2x. Bring down your minus 7. Bring down your equal sign. These two x's are going to zero out, and we just have an 18 here. Now we just solve a two-step equation. So my next step will be to add 7 to both sides. The 7s are going to zero out, so I get 2x equals 25. And then get x by itself by dividing both sides by 2. So my answer is x equals 25 over 2. We're just going to leave it as that fraction there. Okay. Our next example, remember to follow the steps. We want to do each side separately. So on my first side here, 2x plus 3 minus 7, there is no distribution, so I move on to the next step, combining like terms. I do have like terms here that I can combine. There's only one x, so I'm just going to bring that one down. But I have like terms with my constants. I have a 3 and a negative 7, so I'm going to add those together. 3 plus negative 7 is negative 4. And bring down my equal sign. Now on the other side, I do have distribution that I want to do. So I'm going to distribute this 4 here and here. 4 times 2x is 8x. 4 times 2 is positive 8. Okay. Always after I distribute, I want to make sure all my like terms are combined. So once I distributed my 4, 8x plus 8, I cannot combine those, and so my like terms are already combined. Then our third step is to get all the x's to one side. So again, I want positive x's, so I'm going to subtract 2x from both sides. I have a positive 2x on the left-hand side, so I want to subtract. The two x's are going to zero out on the left. I have negative 4. Bring down my equal sign. Let's make that negative sign a little better. 8x minus 2x is 6x. Bring down my plus 8. Then it becomes a two-step equation. We're going to solve for x. So my next step would be to subtract 8 from both sides. Negative 4 minus 8 is negative 12. My 8's here are going to zero out. And finally, to get x by itself, we divide. So I'm going to divide both sides by 6. So I get my answer is x equals negative 2 once I divide. Remember, the 6 is 1 out, and so it becomes a 1x, or just an x. So my answer is x equals negative 2. Okay, in my last example here, again, I always want to look at each side separately, distribute, combine like terms. Those are my first steps. So on the left-hand side here, I can distribute, so that's what I'm going to do. Negative 2 times x is negative 2x. Negative 2 times 6 is negative 12. Bring down my equal sign. This 2 is not involved in the distribution, so I'm just going to bring it down. So 2, bring my plus sign down, and distribute this 3. 3 times x is 3x, and 3 times negative 1 is negative 3. Always after I distribute, I want to combine like terms. So on the left-hand side, I don't have like terms to combine. I'm just going to bring that side down. On the right-hand side, I do have like terms. I have constants, a negative 2 and a positive 2 and a negative 3, and I'm going to add those together. I'm just going to bring down my 3x first, and then we'll add 2 plus negative 3 is negative 1. Then we can solve. When we're solving with variables on both sides, we always want to get all the x's to one side. So I'm going to add 2x to get rid of it on the left-hand side and move it over to the right. I'm adding because it's a negative 2x. That will undo it or zero it out. Bring down my negative 12. 3x plus 2x is 5x. Bring down my negative 1 or my minus 1. And then we just solve this two-step equation. So I first want to add 1 to both sides. I get negative 11 on the left equals 5x. And finally divide both sides by 5 to get x by itself. The 5's will 1 out, and so I get my answer as x equals negative 11 over 5. And again, we're just going to leave it as a fraction. And so that would be my answer. Thank you for watching, and for more math tutorials, please subscribe to our channel, Friendly Math 101.